The midnight frequency. The neon veins of Mumbai pulsed outside the soundproof glass, but inside Studio 4, the world was reduced to the amber glow of a vacuum tube and the low hum of the air conditioner. Arjun Mehta adjusted his headphones, his voice a smooth, velvet ribbon cutting through the humid night. "This is 101.9, the midnight frequency," he whispered into the condenser mic. "I'm Arjun, and I'm listening. Tell me your secrets, Mumbai. I'm the only one still awake." The line chirped. Arjun pressed the blinking button, expecting a lonely student or a weary taxi driver. Instead, there was only the sound of rhythmic breathing, followed by a woman's voice, crystalline and cold. "The blue paint is peeling on the bottom left corner of your childhood bedroom door, Arjun," the caller said. "And the third stair from the top still creaks if you step too far to the right." Arjun froze, his hand hovering over the soundboard. "Who is this?" he asked, his professional mask slipping. "I'm Ananya," she replied, "and I've been listening to you for a very long time." Arjun tried to laugh it off, but the calls didn't stop. Each night, Ananya revealed a new, impossible detail. She described the stack of unread thrillers on his nightstand and the specific way his kitchen faucet leaked, 3 fast drops, then a long pause. He sat in his dark apartment, staring at the phone, feeling the walls of his privacy dissolve into static. She wasn't just watching him. She knew the geography of his private life better than he did. Suspicion turned to obsession. Arjun spent his afternoons in the station's basement archives, digging through dusty logs and moldy magnetic tapes. He discovered a pattern that made the hair on his arms stand up. Every 10 years, to the day, the host of the late-night slot simply stopped showing up. No resignations, no farewells. Just a sudden, empty silence where a voice used to be. He found a photograph tucked into a 1994 logbook. It showed the host from 30 years ago, a man named Kavi. Kavi had the same sunken eyes Arjun saw in the mirror every morning. In the margins of the logbook, Kavi had scribbled a single frantic sentence over and over. "She isn't calling the station. She's calling from inside the signal." Arjun realized that he wasn't the first voice of Mumbai. He was just the latest inhabitant of a beautiful trap. That night, the studio felt smaller. Ananya called again, her voice sounding closer, as if she were standing just behind the acoustic foam panels. "Every word you speak into that mic, Arjun, is a piece of yourself you give away," she whispered. "I've mapped your soul through your broadcasts. I know the frequency of your fear. I know the pitch of your loneliness. You've built the bridge for me, one syllable at a time." Arjun tried to cut the power, but the on-air light stayed blood red. He realized the frequency wasn't just a radio wave. It was a digital cage he had spent years perfecting. His listeners weren't just people in cars, they were the components of a ritual. He looked at the glass of the producer's booth, seeing his own terrified reflection. But the shadows behind his reflection seemed to be moving independently, coalescing into a shape. The monitors on the desk began to flicker, displaying a waveform that didn't look like sound. It looked like a topographic map, a landscape of jagged peaks and deep valleys. "Is that me?" Arjun whispered. "It's the map of your life." Ananya's voice came through the monitors, no longer requiring a phone line. "And I am the one who walks its paths. You've invited me in, Arjun. You've narrated your own end." Suddenly, his own voice began to play over the speakers, but it wasn't a recording of the past. It was a recording of the now. He heard himself gasping, heard the frantic beat of his own heart, and then heard a sound he hadn't made yet, a final, choked-off cry. The recording played his own demise with perfect, terrifying clarity. He was trapped in a loop of his own making, a frequency that had finally tuned into his final moment. The studio went silent, a heavy, suffocating quiet that pressed against his eardrums. The on-air light flickered once and died. In the absolute darkness of the soundproof room, Arjun felt a sensation that made his blood turn to ice. A pale, slender hand, cold as a winter morning, reached out from the shadows and rested firmly on his shoulder. "Don't stop talking, Arjun," Ananya whispered directly into his ear. The show must go on, forever.